Welcome to the webinar. My name is Lori Burns, and I am an NSCC EAL support specialist. In this webinar, we will be talking about pronunciation for commonly mispronounced words. At the end of the webinar, there will be some resources that will help you continue to improve these skills. Let's get started. The objectives for today's webinar are to explore why words are commonly mispronounced, explore how dialects can impact pronunciation of different words, and look at how stress can impact the meaning of certain nouns and verbs. Why are so many words mispronounced? Many English words come from other languages. There are different dialects of every language. A lot of the way that you say English words depends on your first language, and then mispronouncing becomes the norm. Mispronouncing a word can happen due to similar spellings of other words. And finally, sometimes we add or drop vowel or consonant sounds. Modern English is heavily influenced by other languages. Latin, Greek, German, French, and Dutch, among others, contributed to building the language. When these words were adopted, quite often, the spelling was changed or just altered slightly. This means the spelling of many English words is irregular and can cause. Here are some examples of words that we take from other languages. I will say the right way and then the wrong way to say it. Cache, cache. Niche, niche. Foyer, foyer. Etc., etc. Espresso, espresso. Dialects are what we call regional varieties of a language. Dialects can cause changes in pronunciation, spelling, grammar, and vocabulary. Examples of distinct English dialects are found in the American South, Newfoundland, and Scotland. The abundance of dialects can cause linguistic challenges, such as mispronunciation and difficulty listening to different dialects. Here are some examples of different ways that people pronounce certain things depending on their dialect. It can make it very difficult to understand the word if you are not used to it. Root, root. Pajamas, pajamas. Crayon, crayon. Mother, mutter. Fellow, fella. Ask, axe. When you speak another language, it feels different in your mouth because the facial muscles are not used to making those sounds. Not all sounds in English are present in other languages, and that can cause pronunciation challenges. For example, there is no P sound in Arabic, so it is often replaced with a B. There are times when you might switch sounds because of what your native language is. This is common, and you just have to work at it. Some examples of sound switching include vodka, vodka, whiskey, visky, parking, barking, very, fairy, collect, correct, play, pray. Sometimes a word has been mispronounced so many times over the years that the mispronunciation becomes normal and acceptable. English is always evolving, so pronunciation changes are always occurring. This evolution becomes a distinguishable feature in establishing a dialect. If a word is mispronounced by an entire community, does it become the proper pronunciation? Don't worry too much about mispronunciation. Just know that if you can be understood, you are doing okay. Speaking English is a constant journey. Sometimes a word may be mispronounced because the spelling may be close to that of another word. It's important to distinguish which word you are trying to pronounce because the meaning of the word will change depending on your pronunciation. Also, there are many English words that have confusing spellings. When you change the spelling, it really changes the pronunciation of the word. Here are some examples. Loose, lose. Dessert, desert. Advice, advise. Accept, accept. Effect, effect. Quiet, quite. Acquire, inquire. Adapt, adept. Farther, further. Then, than. Metal, metal. Moral, morale. Pronunciation can be caused by adding or dropping sounds. Consonant sounds are often added between two adjacent vowel sounds. Example, drawing, or consonant clusters. Example, hamster. Sometimes, not all sounds in a word are pronounced, which can cause mispronunciation. Example, Antarctic becomes Antarctic. Sometimes we add or drop sounds when we don't need to. Here are some examples. Pronounce correctly and then wrongly. Arctic, Arctic. Night, knight. Honor, honor. Anyway, anyways. Wednesday, Wednesday. Pronunciation, pronunciation. Some words in English are homonyms. This means they have the same spelling and pronunciation but have different meanings. Example, record, record. If a homonym has a verb and a noun form, the pronunciation is different for each form. If the word is a noun, the stress is on the first syllable. If it is a verb, the stress is on the second syllable. Is it a noun or a verb? Sometimes a word can act as both a noun and a verb. In this case, make sure to follow the rules and stress the right syllable. I will now read these words, first saying the noun and then the verb. Pay attention to the stress. Record, record. Project, project. Refuse, refuse. Relay, relay. Upset, upset. Desert, dessert. There are many available resources for NSCC students. Please take some time to explore them. Visit the NSCC EAL page to view the schedules for upcoming EAL webinars, to book an appointment with an EAL support specialist, and to use the EAL guide for additional resources to help increase your language learning. You can find all of these resources on the Learning Supports Connect page and link on the screen. Connect is NSCC's intranet and requires your NSCCW number and login. References.